When Conrad said,
I dream about this. You.
It made me remember when Belly said,
I used to dream about Conrad and imagine what it would be like, and I felt safe. Because, it was never going to come true. He would never feel for me what I feel for him.
So the parallel between these two scenes is really interesting to me for a couple of reasons. At this point in season 3, the scene that I showed you with Conrad is from season 3, episode 11, the series finale. We know at this point that Conrad has been yearning for Belly since day one. He's liked her for many, many years, and that like grew into love. And they've been apart for 5 years now, and he admits that he's been dreaming about her this whole time. So then in that scene that I just showed with Belly, that was from season 1, episode 6. And at this point, that was 6 years ago. Belly says back then that she would dream of Conrad all the time, and it felt safe because it wasn't real and it wouldn't come true. Again, it comes back to this central theme that Belly has never believed that Conrad could love her, and that she was missing all of the obvious signs that he had feelings for her. The conversation that I showed in season 1 is Belly talking to Taylor, and the context of the conversation is Belly feeling like something with Jeremiah could be more real. This is the rest of what they say to each other.
When Jeremiah and I kissed, it was real. And real is like scary. Isn't love supposed to be a little scary? Yeah, you're right.
So how does this second part of Taylor and Belly's conversation tie back to where we are today in season 3, episode 11? Well, as we all know, shortly after Conrad said,
I dream about this. You.
Belly is faced with this rush of fears, and she sort of starts spiraling, and she asks Conrad all of these questions about, the authenticity of his love for her and where it's coming from, and is it real? And I broke all of that down in the video that I posted yesterday, so go watch that if you haven't had a chance yet. But the reason why Conrad's saying to Belly in their most intimate moment that he dreams about her made me think of that conversation between Belly and Taylor from season 1, where she says that she used to dream about him because she didn't think that it would ever come true or be real, or that he could love her, is because the little crash out that Belly has after her and Conrad are together in season 3 is stemming from that same insecurity that she has carried all of this time. And I think it's so important that Taylor said to her back then, that isn't love supposed to be a little bit scary? Yes, the context of what they were talking about it within was Jeremiah. At that time, it was Belly kind of thinking that maybe she should choose Jeremiah because it felt more real, again, because she didn't believe that Conrad could love her, which we know at this point was false. But like I said, Taylor says to her, isn't love supposed to be a little bit scary? And it just brings me back to this moment that I referenced between Belly and Conrad here.
What if you only love me because that's what your mom wanted, and then your mom died?
That is not why I love you.
Because it feels so full circle. Belly is clearly just scared. It's almost like she needs that reminder again of what Taylor said to her, that love can be a little bit scary. And it seems like once again she's scared in this moment. She's scared of the motivations behind Conrad's love, and most of all, she's scared that it's suddenly very real. Look back at the history of Belly's thoughts throughout the series. She never thought Conrad's love for her could be real, and I've covered a lot of the reasons why that is in many of my other videos, but to kind of sum it up once again, the two main reasons are her internal struggles and insecurities, her belief about her worthiness of love, and then also her kind of misguided belief that Conrad only loves her because he thinks it's what Susanna wanted. So Conrad coming all the way to Paris for her and finally just being so truthful in the way that he feels for her and not taking it away, which is something she's been worried about in the past, and standing his ground and speaking his truth and unapologetically professing his love for her does make it incredibly real. And just like Taylor said, real love can be scary. So like I said, it's just such a full circle moment. And I think it also ties into what Belly says.
All this time, I wanted to believe I changed. That I'm not the same girl I was. But I am still her. And was that girl so bad?
Like, it all ties together so beautifully. She is still that girl who has those same fears and feels like love can be scary. And back then it felt safe for her to dream about Conrad because she didn't believe that dream could ever come true. But here she is, and that dream is coming true, and it feels very scary for her. And the other beautiful thing is how this ties into the concept of uncertainty, which we saw a lot in season 3 with Conrad and his anxiety and his mental health, and Laurel and Conrad saying this to each other.
Do you think that she would even want to hear from me?
I don't know, Connie. I can't speak for Belly.
No, yeah.
But if you really want to know if she's ready to talk, you're gonna have to risk finding out for yourself.
Oh boy, you sound like my therapist. Always telling me I need to get better at uncertainty. That I need to stop trying to control everything.
And what do you say?
Fuck you, uncertainty sucks.
You're not wrong.
Yeah, I know, neither is he.
Conrad wouldn't have even gone to Paris if he hadn't accepted some of that uncertainty. He had no idea how it was going to go or how Belly was going to receive him. And so it's just so interesting to me that the two of them, Belly and Conrad, are often on the same page without even realizing it. They've both been scared of that uncertainty, and there's been so many moments throughout the series, as I've shown, that are little callbacks to each other and tie it all together so beautifully. And I, for one, am really glad that both Conrad and Belly decided to stop being scared of the uncertainty and stop being scared of what real love could be like. Because as we saw in the ending of season 3, episode 11, it's only because both of them were able to accept that fear and accept that uncertainty were they able to reunite.